Good evening, folks. It's Diamond with the Oppenheimer Ranch Project and Magnetic Reversal News, bringing you a grand solar minimum update Monday, September 16th, around 9:30 p.m. Mountain Time, 2024. A G2 geomagnetic storm is occurring right now. If you're in the northern tier states of the United States, you need to get out and look up. We could be in geomagnetic storm for much of the evening as the CME shock just arrived a few hours ago, driving plasma speed now above 550 kilometers per second. We could be in for some secondary hits as the storm continues. Keep calm. It's boom time. We've got a lot of crazy weather to talk about, but first, the big story. Another assassination attempt against former President Donald Trump near his golf course. And the suspect apparently was in the region for over 12 hours. Is this another failure of the Secret Service, or are they trying to kill Donald Trump? The would-be assassin exploited security hole that Secret Service has known about for years. What is going on? And a once-in-a-lifetime, a once-in-a-thousand-year rainfall event from an unnamed storm floods homes and forces rescues in North Carolina. What is still called the unnamed potential tropical disturbance 8 is bringing flooding rain across the region. The unnamed storm brings 1 foot of rain to parts of North Carolina and heads north. Now, them calling it a once-in-a-thousand-year rainfall event is kind of dumb because of the fact that it's not an actual named tropical storm. They can say that, but this is just an unnamed tropical storm bringing tropical level rains to an area that receives that quite often. Here is potential tropical cyclone 8 hovering over northern South Carolina, and we'll take a look at the models and see where it's headed. Here we are over at the GFS model, and we can see that potential tropical cyclone 8 making a big impact on the Carolinas. And it is going to be moving inland a little bit, and then the low pressure will drop offshore here at the Delmarva tomorrow. So the rain's going to continue, move up through Virginia, and the Delmarva. Delaware should be getting some flooding rains, as well as South Jersey potentially. And by Wednesday, it will be out of the picture. But it's going to continue to linger around for 24 to 36 hours here, hours of powers in the Delmarva, and move that flooding potential up into the Virginias, Maryland, Delaware, North Carolina as well. So heed the warnings, and let's take a look at the total precipitated moisture, and that'll give us a better idea on where that flooding is going to occur. So we can see the flooding happening here in South and North Carolina, mostly in the western regions. I can imagine Asheville is going to get blown out, the French Broad River there, as well as eastern coastal regions in the tidal zone. Holy macaroni. And then we do see some flooding rains there in South Delaware, where it appears 3 or 4 inches may fall through Wednesday evening. So heed those warnings. Big areas, 3 to 4 inches in all the dark pinks and purples. So it is early winter, and people are reporting very early fall and leaf changes across the globe, the entire northern hemisphere. Take a look at the total snowfall potential just through the end of September here, and we could see storm after storm pounding the west as we get a good base here before we even hit October. Holy macaroni. Shut up, Al. Get in your hole. Al Gore was nowhere to be found at the Crestone Energy Fair. Here's the full forecast. Heavy rainfall and flooding potential in Virginia. Strong to severe storms in the high plains. There is a slight risk for excessive rainfall, level 2 of 4, Tuesday across central and southeastern Virginia, as we told you, as the remnants of potential tropical cyclone 8 moves northward. Flash and urban flooding is also possible in southern Delaware, which is not on this map yet, but I have the models, so heed the warnings. Strong to severe thunderstorms are expected across the high plains and portions of the central plains Tuesday, which will be their lose day. And the primary threats will be severe wind gusts and large hail, so put your helmets on. Seismic update. we had a very fantastic day as far as geophysical activity across the globe. Amazing activity. Take a look at this. We had a 6.3 magnitude in the northern Marianas Islands at 31 kilometers depth. We also had some larger activity, which has gone off the map, another 6 magnitude, and some big activity up here in Canada over the last 24 hours. We can actually pull those layers. Let me get there. 7-day, 4.5 plus. Yeah, so we had some big activity up here in Canada and Port McNeill at a 6.5. And if we go back to today, just moments ago, we had an amazing earthquake in Ackerley, Texas. And in fact, another frac quake. Approaching one of the largest frac quakes in history, which I believe is above 5.4 or 5.4. But this 5.1 is going to be followed by aftershocks. This is due to deep well injection and the disgusting practice of the fracking industry, which doesn't actually need to do this. Another disgusting practice of the fracking industry is to spray the frac waste fluids onto roads during winter storms. Because of the salt content, it helps melt the snow. Ho, ho, ho. Absolutely disgusting. The world we live in. When you're taxed for plant food, which is not pollution, CO2, and you're not taxed for frac fluids on the highway. Do it my way. Worldwide volcano news for Monday, September 16th. Karimsky puffing, passing the 15,000-foot Semaru. Who knew? Now you do. 14,000-foot puff. Sangay on the list. Ibu to 8,000 feet. Sakurajima on the list, 7,000-foot puff. Fuego's on the list. Santa Guito to 15,000 foot. Liwatobi, a 10,000-foot puff and a pass to Sabancaya with a 22,000-foot blast into the atmosphere. Semaru, 14,000 foot today. Bagana, holy macaroni, 8,000-foot puff there. Reventador, 15,000-foot puff. Sangay on the list. Ibu to 8. Semaru, 14,000 foot. Fuego to 16. Karimsky, 15,000-foot blast. Ibu, 8,000 foot. Another listing. Swanazima, 5,000-foot puff today. Santa Guito, 15,000-foot puff. Liwatobi to 10. Sangay to 20,000. Sabancaya to 22. Who knew? Now you do. Abeco rounding up the list with the 14,000-foot blast and another one for the 17th. These are all on the 17th. Take a look at that. Reventador, 15,000 foot. Now, northern lights are forecast, and they're happening. And many Midwest states may catch Monday's light show. Take a look. That's a representation of what you may witness if you get out and look up. Here is the current aurora forecast, which is blazing across the northern skies as we rapidly ramped up to KP 1.7 all the way up to 4.3. In some areas, G2, geomagnetic storm, has been called. What does that even mean? Well, it means there could be aurora. Very low level activity as far as flaring over the last 48 hours. We just had our first anything in quite some time there. The 3-day geomagnetic forecast showing we could see G2 storm over the next 9 hours, which is the perfect time to get out and look up at aurora. A little later and slower than expected, the CME associated with the X 4.5 solar flare on Saturday just passed the ACE spacecraft at 2249 UTC on the 16th of September. Solar wind speed initially looks to have increased a little bit, but telemetry is showing us it is weak as shit. So now is the time to get out, and unless we get another pulse, like a double 1-2 blast following this, it's over, Johnny. Now, it could be over as well as Apophis is hurtling towards Earth, the largest. Well, it could be a mass extinction impactor heading directly towards us. If it hits another object, maybe an object we don't know exists, this could increase the chance of a god of destruction asteroid hitting Earth. A chance encounter with another asteroid could steer Apophis destructively close to Earth during a future passage. And the bad news is that we don't know about 99.9% of the objects that we don't know about. Let that sink in. All the links will be below. Now, how to watch Tuesday's harvest moon and partial lunar eclipse? Well, you need to go outside and look up, and hopefully there's no clouds. Tomorrow, we will have another supermoon, or in this case, a harvest supermoon, boom. Because it will be full at the time when it is usually unusually close to Earth in its elliptical orbit. So the super harvest moon boom is tomorrow, and that is coupled with, well, a partial lunar eclipse. The entire lunar eclipse is visible for much of Canada, all of North America, all of South America, a huge swath of Antarctica, all of Africa, all of Europe, and some of Eastern Russia, and even Siberia. How do you like them apples? The pink zone is the zone to be in, and the total partial lunar eclipse begins at 8:41 p.m. and will peak, holy macaroni, at 12:47 a.m. Eastern time, which means 11:47, 10:40, about 10:47 p.m. here, which is perfect. It's going to be right after the show tomorrow night. Lunar eclipses can only happen during the full moon phase, making for a particularly striking celestial phenomenon. And we've got the supermoon because the moon is going to be the closest. It's a harvest moon because it's the last moon of the harvest, I guess. And there's a beautiful picture here that's just missing E.T. We just got back from the 35th annual Crestone Energy Fair. It was fantastic. We had fans from all over drive hundreds of miles to come see us. We appreciate your effort. We love each and every one of you. We thank you for all that you do to support the channel, and we do this for you. And we appreciate all of your support. It makes us feel the effort is worth it. And that includes Alien Alan, who is the #1 volunteer over the last decade. We love Alien Alan, as well as Brad Kittle and Trinity from Tiny Texas Homes, tinytexashouses.substack.com. Check out some of the blogs that our good friend Brad Kittle has been putting out for years and has been suppressed by the mainstream media because it works against the oligarchs, the multinational corporations, the Home Depots, the money funders. Everything you need has already been built. And through salvage alone, you can rebuild the world. And Brad Kittle is leading the way. Support his Substack. The links will be below. And that's a boom to knowledge. Please share the video. We are shadow banned, and we need your help to grow. I haven't put many videos out over the last few days, and that really hits us in the pocketbook through ad revenue. So support the channel through a one-time donation. Become a Patreon. Watch all of our podcasts in one place, commercial free. And be safe. We love you. And that is a boom.